This is the unfortunate part of the story. This airport was built by Hitler. I could see I'd messed things up. I tried to bring the mood up. I was like, which Hitler? He's like, which Hitler? Which other Hitler is there? I was like, could be Henry Hitler. Henry Hitler? Who the hell is Henry Hitler? I was like, you don't know Henry Hitler? It was nice to be in a place where people don't bury their history. You know? And what I mean by that, is that, like, when you travel through Germany, even if you don't go to museums, you cannot escape the past of both Berlin and what Germany did. You know, there are monuments scattered throughout the city, prominent monuments. They're memorializing what Germany did to millions of Jewish people and millions of other people around the world. You see it, you understand it, they talk about it. You know, they teach their kids about it. They teach children in school. They're like, hey, this is what Germany did. They make sure they know. But they don't make them feel guilty about it, which is a pretty amazing balance for them to strike, you know? They'll say to the kids, they're like, hey, kids, I hope you understand. Germany did this. You're not responsible because you weren't there. However, because you're the future of Germany, it's your responsibility to make sure this doesn't happen again. You know what I loved about being in Germany when they were talking about their history is how forthright they are about it. You know, they know it's painful. They know that it's a terrible blight on who they are, but they don't hide from it. Like when I saw them doing this, I was like, man, I wish America did this with history. You know? Because you ever see how awkward it is speaking about history in America? It gets tense. Doesn't matter what history it is, it gets tense. You know, Columbus Day is one of those days. Every year in New York, there's a fight. Every year. Here in Detroit, there was a fight. There was a bust of Christopher Columbus that was around for 110 years. At some point, half of Detroit was like, we need to get rid of it. The other half was like, no, don't get rid of it. It was a huge fight. New York, same thing, every year. Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. And it's Columbus Day. I'm sick and tired of people coming in and changing the name. We're proud of that day. It's Christopher Columbus. It's Columbus Day. It's not going to change. In fact, how would you feel if somebody came along, took something that's been around for a long time and just decided to switch it and call it something else? Huh? How would you feel? I was like, but sir, isn't that the spirit of Columbus Day? I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of Indigenous Peoples Day, the title. I don't like it. I think it's a cop-out. I don't think it's specific enough. It's lazy. You know, Indigenous Peoples Day. Which Indigenous people? Where? How? Give me something, you know? You know what I liked about Columbus Day? Is that it was specific. Yeah. It was a specific, inspiring, wrong way around the world. And get to India from the other side. Nobody believed in him. Yeah. He was like, I'm gonna do this. They were like, you can't do it, Chris. And he was like, I'm gonna do it. They're like, you can't do it, Chris. He's like, I'm gonna do it. They're like, you can't do it, Chris. And he raised money. He fought for years. He finally got the ships and he sailed the wrong way around the world and he didn't do it. Not only did he not land on the other side of India, he found himself in a place called the Caribbean. And he was like, this is India. And the people there were like, I don't know if you've been eating some of the herb we've been leaving about, but this is totally not India. And they're like, this is India and you guys are Indians. They're like, brother, we are not Indians. He's like, I know Indians when I don't see them. You're Indians. You're just on the far side, so you're West Indians. And he stuck with it. Christopher Columbus stuck with it his entire life. Other explorers would come to him, they'd be like, yo, Chris, I don't think you made it to India. He's like, it's India. They're like, I don't think it's India. He's like, it's India. He died refusing to acknowledge the possibility that he never made it to India. Not only that, my friends, He never set foot in America, ever. And yet, he had a public holiday named after him in America. That, my friends, is the inspiring story of how white men can fail up. You know how much confidence you have to pull that off? You think people of color could have pulled that off? You think black people could pull that off? Wow, really? Black people's gonna sail around the world, wrong way around, get to the place they're not supposed to be, probably get arrested for trespassing. Be like, what are you doing here? Be like, man, my bad, man. I thought I was getting to India, man. My bad, man. I apologize. Man, I don't even know what I was thinking, man. You know what, man? We should have never messed with ships. It never turns out good, man. I apologize, man. This won't happen again. Why would you want to bury your history? So much joy, there's so much to learn. It feels like America's moving in that direction. You know, it wants less and less of its history, wants less and less context. You look what's happening with textbooks. It's making the kids feel bad, and other parents are like, keep the slavery in, it's teaching the children, and these parents are fighting back and forth. I'm like, why? What you don't need to be fighting about. No one should be fighting about this. Kids don't read textbooks. They watch TikTok. If you want to get to the kids, that's where you gotta be. There was slavery. Ships came. Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't think that textbook thing is like a real issue. That rents are out of control, people cannot afford to live anywhere, your salaries have never kept up with inflation, corporations steal billions and billions of dollars from their employees with no ramifications. You don't pay attention to any of that. You pay attention to what's catchy. It's easy to keep up with, it keeps you going. You know? Ooh, can trans people use public bathrooms? Ooh. It's manufactured. Who was actually dealing with this issue? And I mean this, honestly, who was actually dealing with this issue? You know what they did? Some politician out there figured out, they go, here's a small story affecting a few people in a random place. I'm gonna make it seem like this is a nationwide issue, and then everyone starts fighting about it. But who? Who was really dealing with it? Huh? Who of you here has ever been in a situation where you were in a bathroom and all of a sudden a skirmish broke out and you heard people being like, excuse me, is this the gender that you were born with? Does it coincide with the sign on the door? Is your genitalia matching this? Can I see it right now? Who's ever seen that? Nobody. Nobody. But they make us fight about it because it's catchy. Who can use which bathroom? Who cares? Who cares? I mean it, who cares? I know someone will be like, oh, but trans people care. They want to know if they can use a public bathroom. Yeah, use whichever bathroom you want. Who's gonna stop you? To know the genitalia of the other people in a public bathroom, you're the creep. I'm worried about you. There is a simple rule to every public toilet around the world, and that rule is you get in, you pay no attention to anyone else, you hold your breath, and you get out. You're standing around staring at other people. Like every man in this room knows, when we use the toilet, what do? We get in, public toilet, you stare dead ahead. You pee, you do your thing. You do not look to either side. If you're fidgety, you look up, you look down. You do not look at anyone else. The guy next to you could start choking. You don't turn your head, you don't shake, you don't move. You hear him like, you be like, hey man, hey, you alright? Yo, hey man, you okay? Yo, you want me to call? Hey man, are you okay? Yo, you want me to call? Don't look at me! What are we doing? What are we fighting about? Public bathrooms. And if you know your history, you'll know this happened theoretically. I don't know if you actually do. No, I don't think any guy does, let's be honest. We don't. Like, we assume this on a biological level, but I don't know for certain that any woman actually, in fact, any man in here, I don't, like, think of any woman in your life. Do you know the last time she pooed? I don't think you know. I don't think you know. There is no forensic evidence to back up that claim. There is no smell, there is no stain, there is no nothing. And ladies, I don't know who's doing your bathroom PR, but they're doing a stellar job. Gets there, tinkle, 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 comes out, washes her hand, powders her face, texts on the phone a bit, comes back to the table. You have no clue. Yeah, if she's gonna go poo, same thing, 10 minutes. Goes to the bathroom, does a thing, pellets, comes back out, wash her hands, powder the nose, text her friends, get back out there. You have no clue. With men, you know exactly what we're doing. Discretion is not our forte. You know when every single man is gonna go pee. Why? 2 minutes. Off to the bathroom, we're in there. Quickest thing ever. It's like a NASCAR pit stop. Yeah, we get in, we pee, we come back out, act like we're washing our hands, and we're back. How do you know when we're gonna take a dump? Because it's obvious. We go to the bathroom, never come back. That's the last time you'll ever see us. Your family's putting up wanted posters in the restaurants. Have you seen this man? Imagine, people were fighting about bathroom. This every time in America, every time. There was a time when black people had to fight to use public bathrooms. Huh? This was an actual topic of discussion. I remember seeing people on the news being interviewed. They'd be like, do you think that gay men should be allowed into the same bathrooms as straight men? I'd be like, look, I don't mind what they do. If they keep it to themselves, that's fine. But just answer me this. How's it gonna work, huh? So what, you're in the bathroom with them and then what? Like he's gay and I'm just standing there and I'm peeing, huh? And he's looking at my wiener, huh? And then he grabs it, huh? And he starts yanking on it, huh? He just starts tugging away and I get hard and I'm enjoying it, huh? And then this is one of the best experiences I've ever had, huh? And then I start coming back weekly, hoping I'll bump into him, and I do, huh? And then at some point we agree to meet outside a nice little restaurant that's cozy and get to know each other, huh? And then a few years later we get married and our families are joined and we live happily ever after, huh? Is that what you want? In a truly astounding way. Look, it's not perfect. It'll never be perfect. But Germany is one of the only countries in the world that has actively paid reparations